I have given a name to my pain. The Batman.
Always waiting for some Batman to save you.
It's simple. We kill the Bat of Gotham. You don't really think you'll win, do you? I'm Batman.
Hey now, you are listening to episode 94 of the Batman on Film podcast. We're getting close to 100. What are we going to do for 100 show? Gotta do something.
100.
Collins.
What are we doing for 100?
Song and dance.
Something. We gotta do something.
Catwoman commentary.
All right. No, that never will happen.
Oh my gosh.
BOF is the sponsor and a proud member as well of the Batman Podcast Network. Check out all the shows over at BatmanPodcastNetwork.com. Brian, you have a suggestion this week?
A suggestion this week. Well, let me see. There's DC Daily Drop, actually. They're pretty good. DC Daily Drop is your one-stop shop for today's important news in DC movies, TV, and comics. And like the name says, these guys do a podcast like every single day. And it's usually like, 10 to 15 minutes or so. But it's kind of cool if you just, want to catch up with the news of the day. Then that's kind of the place to do it. So check them out.
All right. Thank you. I am the host of this here podcast, coming at you straight from Tomball, Texas. I am Bill Jett Ramey, the founder and editor-in-chief of Batman on Film as well. With me today, of course, are the great Batman on Film Roundtablers, Justin Kowalski and Ryan Haas. Hello, boys. How are y'all doing today?
Good.
Doing great.
All right.
Doing great.
And from West Plano, which is in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, but originally from Mesquite, Texas. That would be Ricky Joe Shew. Hey, Rick.
What the hell?
Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody started talking about geography again on the show. I dozed off for a second. What's up?
I'm about to break out in weather, too.
Weather. Geography, then weather. Yeah.
I can't wait for us to do our analysis on that kissing scene that Gal did on Saturday Night Live last night. It's going to be awesome.
God. I haven't seen it yet.
It's going to be awesome. That's what we're doing today, right?
We are not doing that. And in fact, I have not watched Saturday Night Live yet. I did DVR it, so I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, I had to go to bed so I can wake up at 6 to do this.
Yeah, it may be the hottest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Did you watch? Did you watch the whole episode?
No, I just saw. No, I was watching. I saw Captain. Go ahead, Brian.
Rick saw, two girls kissing, and like every man, he just clicked.
Well,
yeah,
it's not just two girls kissing; it's a gal.
Well, did anybody watch the whole SNL episode last night?
I did.
Okay, is it a good one?
SNL is always. I like parts and I don't like others, but they were pretty consistent with their skits last night. They tried to use her as best as they could.
What's like that great Chris Rock line when he's hosting the 40th anniversary of Saturday Night Live or whatever it was several years ago? He's like, 40 years of Saturday Night Live and only 4 episodes funny.
Good joke. That's good.
Yeah.
All right.
That was
Rick.
the worst Chris Rock impression ever, too, by the way.
Yeah.
That's great. FYI, don't.
It was all right.
So, no, I was watching Captain Underpants last night, which is a fantastic film. And then I watched the UT Kansas State game.
All right, Rick, do something useful now and introduce our guest.
Connor, properly pronounce your last name.
Behrens.
Behrens, because I always add an extra syllable to it. So it's Connor Behrens.
It's okay. I had a teacher who used to just always call me Connor Burns.
Connor Behrens.
I've given up. Yeah.
Connor is a writer and a film enthusiast. And what do you have going on? I mean, we'll do some plugs at the end of the show, but just at the top of the show, you have anything up right now that's catching some traction? You had a Washington Post column not too long ago, which was great.
Yes, I'm still trying to write for them again. Right now, I'm just focused on writing for my newspaper, but I might start writing for a pretty prominent Texas Coast magazine soon. So,
right on.
Yeah.
Welcome back, sir.
Well, I'm happy to be here.
Batman on film, authoritative, definitive. Go ahead. What is it, Rick?
The Dadgum Original.
We're going to watch the new Heroes Justice League trailer.
Is that Heroes?
Yes, it's what it's called. I know that because that's what, when Warner Brothers sent it to me this morning, it was titled the new Heroes Justice League trailer. So we're going to watch that, and we're going to kind of do like a mini commentary. In fact, I know I have not seen it, and I ask everyone not to watch it until now. So
I am clean.
So,
I do have some comments for some people that are unnamed on this podcast. If you've been spoiled, my number one rule, or there's a few rules to not be spoiled for things, and the first rule is stay off social media, and that's the only rule. So,
why are you calling me out, man?
I didn't even call you out. I said people that I'm not going to name, but you revealed yourself, so sorry.
I always reveal myself.
Yeah, logging on Twitter this morning was a bad mistake.
Well, you know what, guys? All I could say is I'm young and inexperienced here, so
There you go.
Okay.
So Ryan will show you the way.
Okay.
You all ready?
All right, let's do this.
Yep.
All right.
Since 6 a.m.
If you are playing at home, as they used to say back in the 70s during game shows, we're going to have a countdown. Go ahead and pull up. If you're watching on YouTube, you're going to have to go to the very start of the trailer, not bypass all the advertisement for the trailer, before the trailer, all that nonsense. We're going to go right from the get-go. And just whatever comes out of our mouths will come out of our mouths. So is everyone ready?
Let's roll.
Yep.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hit play.
Well, there's Lois Lane.
Well, I wonder who's that in the cornfield.
Wow.
No way.
This is
Are
cool.
they going to reveal him? Oh, I love that music.
Yeah.
Okay, this shot is gorgeous.
It's like Barry Allen's coat. Oh.
Look at that handsome.
There's Superman.
That is a yes. No mustache.
He CGI'd it out, sir.
Wow, already more lines than he had in B versus S.
Okay, that was a beautiful shot.
I knew
That's
it.
beautiful.
Oh,
I knew it. They weren't going to ruin the
Superman.
return,
No.
like in the trailer. All right, same stuff.
And there's the parademon.
Oh, that was cool. That looked good. Whoa, who the heck was that?
Interesting.
Oh, wow. Medusa. Kind of.
Okay, that's kind of cool seeing like the color kind of be taken off.
Something darker.
Who was just covering Bowie?
Yeah, they've had so many people.
Thank you.
Okay, that's what I was saying. This is Bowie.
It's Heroes. It's Bowie Heroes.
That's not Bowie.
I wish it.
Well, it's a
I wish
cover.
it.
Look at that hero.
yeah,
Look at that
that's
hero
cool.
shot of Gal.
Oh, that's a great.
That was
cool.
a great shot.
That's the opposite of what the saying.
Love Gal.
Oh, neat.
Okay, there's the
Now,
CGI
there's
stuff.
We've kind of seen this.
super CGI.
There's Flash looking cool.
Nods enough.
Oh, that's cool.
Pop him into the water. There's my girl. I don't even care how bad the scene looks. She looks amazing in it.
Hey, there's John Blake. Where's John Blake in this?
That was cool.
I made him a promise.
And
Oh man, this has to be where he.
that's where it all starts
before he-
getting.
No, look at.
Oh,
Oh
man.
no!
How many scenes are we going to have?
Oh no!
Okay. Wow, that's a big change from the shot from earlier this year.
That was so,
Yeah, everything's so red now. Everything is just red in this.
that
scene.
was so busy. I can't even keep up with
think
what's
it-
going on here. And there's James Hetfield. Yeah! Yeah!
Oh, awesome. As a bat signal, that's your... Oh, sorry. That's your signal. That means we have to go now.
Yeah, that's what that means.
It's so cool.
Look at that.
I could watch her eat cardboard.
He's Robin.
I love Ezra Miller so much.
Well,
that was certainly a trailer.
Let me say this. I'm gonna start off by just saying how much I love Man of Steel and how great it was to see Lois and Clark, even briefly.
Yes,
that opening shot is beautiful, and quite frankly, it makes me yearn for it. I'm like, I want more of that.
Oh, I'm still holding out hope for Man of Steel 2 because I feel like Henry and Amy still have a lot they haven't really shown that they can do on screen.
Absolutely. So, they're both so great in the role.
Yeah.
And then I love that. And then anyway, my coffee's low. Any comments, guys? Thoughts?
Oh, I got all kind of thoughts.
Okay, so
I'm a little surprised that they decided to go with another rock cover.
Rock cover, yeah.
Instead of
that was
because in the trailer tease yesterday, that was like 20 seconds. They were having some full on like actual film soundtrack score, and so I was kind of hoping, are we going to finally get a tease of Elfman? I mean, they had soundtrack in the Comic-Con trailer, so why are we going back to a rock song? And I just looked up Henry Cavill's Instagram post, and he's referring this to the final trailer. So I find it odd that the final trailer is featuring a cover of a rock song.
Yeah.
Well, it's not too crazy, just because they've done it before, and that's still a common thing these days, just to have rock songs behind trailers.
Yeah,
so it's not too surprising. But
I mean, they're trying to push the message of heroes, and
they're trying to appeal to a wide audience too. They're not. This isn't for fans. This is not a Comic-Con sneak peek. This is a full-on trailer.
But when I see this trailer, it sort of encapsulates the issues that I have with this film. And I say that obviously I haven't seen it yet, but in terms of my expectations for it, what I know about it, etc., is that it just still doesn't seem character driven at all. It's just like a big fight fest, and there's so much to introduce. We still don't know. we have not met Aquaman and Flash and Cyborg yet. They still have to be introduced in this film. We have to get emotionally invested in them, and they have to have an arc.
That's what happens though when you don't release solo films before a team up.
Right. I know. Now Wonder Woman, we're invested in her, and thank God that movie was awesome. And I'm invested in as much as I don't like or as many issues as I have with B versus S, I still really love Man of Steel, and I love Cavill in the role. So I'm invested in him. It's great to see him and Lois together. But the rest of it, I see, and look, I think Jason Momoa is going to steal the show in a lot of ways. I think people are going to be excited for his solo film. But Bill, you and I were talking this morning on the phone about this. I'm also a little over the surfer rock and roll guy. I think it's being overplayed.
Overplayed, yeah. I mean, in this trailer alone, how many throw? How many? There were like at least two of those. Grab Aquaman, throw him at something, and he'll jump on something, and he'll say "yeehaw" or whatever. That's like two of those in this trailer. How many more times are we going to see that in the actual movie?
Right. Well, he's definitely a brave and the bold iteration, man. Like for reals. I don't know, man. What you're saying, Rick, about being bought in. I feel like the personality of Jason Momoa has me bought in just as who he is. Like even outside of like this movie, he's just kind of this larger than life guy, and I think that's kind of what they're counting on because they didn't do it the other way. So they're doing it this way, and they're hoping that we have some type of connection to this guy.
I mean, they're just trying to make the character cool
fun.
And not lame.
Yeah, they're trying to make it fun.
Because for so many people, he's just a dude who talks to fish. So
yeah, and I've been a Metallica fan for a long time, so I'm already bought in to Jason Momoa as a fan.
It makes me miss the like preload years, right? With when they, Injustice for All and Black Album, when they had long hair. That's what he looks like. He literally looks like James Hetfield, like in the one video.
I think he looks like Rob Zombie.
Yeah, there you go. Some Rob Zombie in the eyes. And look, he's like the coolest guy ever. I mean, you see him in these videos, and frickin' guy's just ridiculously cool. And he's married to Lisa Bonet, right? Come on, man, that's great.
Yeah, hey,
she's still a knockout at 50 or however old she is. But it's just one of those things to me, guys, that and this is not a generational thing. Bill and I will have slight disagreements on this. I don't think my lack of enthusiasm for this film has anything to do with my age. I just don't. I look at this because I tell you what, I watched Captain Underpants last night, and I freaking can't wait to watch it again. I can't stop watching Lego Batman. I've watched that damn movie, I think 5 times in 2 weeks. 4 with my kids. 1, I just popped it in on my own because it was just, I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I got to just put it in and watch it. So it has nothing to do with that. What it has to do with the fact that I genuinely, wholeheartedly, I just think this looks bad. And I'm very nervous that it's going to get crummy Rotten Tomato scores, and it's going to do okay at the box office, but nothing earth shattering. And I'm ready to put this in the review mirror. That's all.
Well, speaking of that, there is a whole sense of let's just get to this and get it over with and move on to Aquaman and Wonder Woman and Matt Reeves, the Batman. There's just a bit of that with this film, not only by speaking for myself personally, but also I think with Warner Brothers as well.
I'm kind of getting that vibe as well.
Yeah. And, I mean, you don't.
Okay, we should talk about the trailer though, because I feel like we've covered this. Like, hey,
yeah,
we get all this. Like, let's cover the trailer. Let's talk about what we like and what we didn't like, because I think that's
I think while there's definitely a lot going on, I do think that what we've seen of the CGI does look better. I'm a bit worried that they haven't really shown Steppenwolf a lot. I mean, we haven't really gotten a close up, really good look at the guy.
There was more Steppenwolf in the last trailer than in this one. Like every other shot, he was in the last trailer.
I feel like they're really just trying to sell the team, and they're like, don't worry about the
That's
threat.
True. That's true.
Yeah. But I mean, the CGI looks better, you know? I mean, what I've seen, Cyborg, I think, if you want to talk about everything in terms of visual effects, I think Cyborg is probably the most distinctive change if you watch the trailer from last year during Comic-Con and then watch this trailer. Cyborg does look a lot better.
Yeah, he does. He does. And a lot of the scenes I've noticed just look a lot more filled out, like especially when whatever sequence that is, like I'm assuming it's Gotham or something like that, where they're driving around the buildings and there's all this tentacles and crazy, stuff going on. Like that was a lot less going on in the last trailer, the same shots, especially even in the first trailer where you see Wonder Woman like tackle 2 parademons. That's pretty barren in that original trailer. And here there's a lot more going on. So I don't know if that was always the plan or what, but regardless, they've had a lot more time on it, and they're trying to make it, they're trying to improve.
It'll be interesting for me to go back and look at some of that footage that you're referring to, because when I looked at this, there were so many moments I'm like, this is so busy, I can't even keep up with what is this. And when you do that in a trailer, I always think that's problematic, because there's going to be scenes in an action film that become a little convoluted, and it all just sort of depends on your visual capabilities as well, right? But in a trailer, to choose those moments always just seems odd, because it's confusing.
No, that's just how trailers are done. I mean, trailers are made to be like, oh, what was that? I don't know. That looks cool. Oh my God, what is that? Like 2-second shots of crazy stuff. That's what goes into trailers.
Well, right. And with films like Transformers and things like that, things that are a little bit more, dare I say, grounded, not necessarily. I mean, look, think about the Man of Steel trailers when they first came out, the teasers and the trailer that led up to it. Those trailers were perfect. They were perfect. And I never would have guessed that there was a absolute mayhem in the third act of that film, and half a city gets destroyed. You just there was not an indicator of that at all.
Right.
You saw, obviously.
Yeah, I don't think they're being shy about that here.
But Man of Steel, you felt like, okay, I'm about to go into a Superman movie that's plot driven, that's character driven, and by the way, it was. And that I think that reflects the movie, because if you have great character moments, right, and there's some, you want to highlight those. It's kind of, it gives an emotional gravitas. And this to me was just, look, that opening scene, I'm going to watch that 20 times today, because I love them. And I think that shot is gorgeous, and I want more of that. But the rest of that, it's just forgettable to me, because it's just noise. So, and maybe in context and it juxtaposed with things leading up to it and things that happen afterward, sure, it probably will work better. But I'm nervous about how much of this film is, really
Rock and sock.
we talk about this a lot. We talk about even Wonder Woman to some extent, as nearly flawless as that film was. There are issues with these third acts taking on this massive CGI love fest, and to me, I feel like there's this indicates that a lot of the film is like that. It's like the third act of films that we've been having issues with, whether it's Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, or Man of Steel.
Well, it's not just even DC. Like I've read think pieces about this, and I share this opinion. Hollywood has a real issue right now with third acts, because a lot of blockbusters that have been coming out recently really just revert to that rock'em sock'em huge CGI fest third act big bash, and that's not always the way to go. You brought up Wonder Woman, and I adore that film, but even in that film, they revert to the generic baddie third act CGI fest at the end. It's just, I hope it's not, from the second point on to the end of the movie, it's Justice League is just CGI fest, but it's just, I don't know. I really am going to have to see all these scenes play out in full and in context, but I get and understand your apprehension and worry, because, there's been a lot of movies that have come out that that's exactly what it reverts to. It just reverts to 20 minutes of nothing but visual effects.
Right.
I got you. All right, let's do this. Let's just go through and everybody just briefly say, I like this, I didn't like that, or maybe you liked everything, maybe you didn't like any of it. It doesn't really, we'll just give our takes. Justin, what was your just overall take on this little trailer here?
Yeah, I feel like I preferred the one previous over this one. This one just kind of seemed like the greatest hits of the last few ones, with a couple more things added. I'm good. I mean, I like it. The red does overwhelm me. Okay. There's like way more red in this thing, and I kind of liked in the beginning of the trailer, they looked like it seemed a little more muted, like where there was it looked like all the parademons were like rolling up on the Amazons. I kind of liked how that looked. Mm-hmm. It looked a little less red, and so I'm guessing red is kind of the color of invasion and whatever, and that's fine. I'll wait to see it in context, but just in the trailer, it just feels like that last half is like a cherry bomb, dude, for my eyes, and I'm like, that red. But I'm noticing a lot of the at least with Flash, it seems there's a lot of this approval of Wonder Woman every time he says something. Like, it looks like Bruce is annoyed with them, and then Wonder Woman's like, see, he's kind of like your little, short pants Robin guy. Like, give him a chance, So it looks like it's alluding to some of these character moments and whatever. Aquaman, in the beginning of his reveal in these trailers, like last year, I wasn't so hot on him, but now I'm beginning to see they're making him, and even James Wan said this, kind of this swashbuckler kind of guy. Yeah. And okay, and it aligns with my Brave and the Bold. Like, I love that version, and if they want to make Aquaman like that, and like in his cinematic portrayals, I think I'm okay with it. As long as it's not always on. Like, if he can actually be a little, subdued in the moments, and maybe in the action is where he comes alive and he's just like, all that.
I think he will be at first too, especially like when Bruce tries to recruit him. I think he's going to be very apprehensive, very pissed off, very like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, he has that little back and forth with Bruce in the beginning of the trailer. So, overall, I love that shot of Wonder Woman. She's standing on whatever, that Law and Order looking statue. I don't know where the heck that's at.
Yeah.
But,
All of justice.
Did it?
Yeah, maybe.
Did it make you more excited for this? What's your level of excitement? I guess just
you know what? I'm excited. I mean, I even posted it. I was kind of troll Rick yesterday, and it worked. I was just like, Justice League greater than Star Wars. But that's honestly where I'm at. I'm more of a DC guy, and so I'm excited for this movie to come out. Here's the thing. I have all the other concerns that everybody else has, but I'm still kind of. I'm leaning towards what I'm excited about, and then if I get disappointed, then I'll be 100% honest. Like, man, that disappointed me. Like this weekend.
Yeah. Are you super excited to where you can be disappointed, or are you going in kind of like, okay, this thing may not be all that great, so I'm kind of guarded. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I definitely have. I definitely have I'm not saying I have blinders. I'm guarded in the fact that, man, there's like, again, we know how the sausage was made, and that concerns me. I'm just hoping in the end, oh man, that was good.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
their efforts, and kind of like you've been saying, like, hopefully their efforts turn out to be a good movie.
Well, yes,
we don't know yet.
Yeah, I have been saying. Thank you for pointing that out. I have said, I don't know how many times everything I write is like, I may not be excited for it, but I'm excited for the people who are, and I want those people to enjoy it. I mean that. I mean that honestly and sincerely.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say, hey, man, I'm not I don't enjoy this, but I want it to be good.
Yes.
And I hope it's good for those that want it. And I feel the same way. And I think it's okay to say, hey man, this isn't my thing, but hey man, I hope it's awesome. And I'm like, this is my thing, and I hope it's awesome. Okay. And if it's not awesome, I'll be the first person to go, what the heck was that all about?
Okay.
So
that's good. Fair enough.
Same way.
Yeah.
Same way. And with BVS.
Because we have, I like the fact we have different ages here. We have different opinions, different tastes with Batman and so forth. All right, Connor. What's your overall thoughts, and what did you like? Is what you didn't like, and just your take in general, dude.
I liked more of the character moments that we saw. I really do believe that Ezra Miller and Jason Momoa, those two are probably going to really steal this movie. I can tell that they're probably going to have those big character moments that, out of everything, people will probably be talking about those two the most when this movie's over with. I didn't particularly. I get why it goes along with what they've done in the past, but for the final trailer, I really don't like that they just decided to go with a cover song. I feel like for the big final trailer, it should have been something a little bit more grand. So I wasn't a huge fan of the music choice, but like I said, I really enjoyed the character moments. And I like the trailer overall. If I have to talk about my hype levels, they're pretty much the same. This hasn't dropped them or increased them. If anything, this trailer kind of proved to me that, for me, we really didn't need another trailer. I was honestly good after the Comic-Con. Yeah.
I'm with you on
the Comic-Con, if this is the final trailer, Comic-Con's probably my favorite one out of everything they've released. So this was good. I liked it, and I'm excited to see how this all turns out next month. It's going to be fascinating, to be honest. But yeah,
it will be. Where are you at on your anticipation level? I mean, are you like, I've been waiting for this forever kind of guy? I mean, I want to, I'm just trying to get a perspective here.
Yeah. I mean, I distinctly remember being 5 years old and seeing Justice League, the old Cartoon Network show.
Oh man, you were 5.
Dude, I'm 20. I'm 23. Don't make me feel bad.
Oh man, no, don't feel bad.
Yeah, I'm hyped, but at the same time, I'm not looking forward to what's going to happen because of this movie. I'm not looking forward to the awful fan wars on Twitter and all that stuff.
Oh, it's going to be ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. You know that from the reviews to the general average Joe people.
Every criticism.
Well, no, I think the most prevalent thing that I'm going to get sick of by the second day is this Zack Snyder or Joss Whedon's movie?
Oh.
Like, who cares? Just state your opinion and move on after this thing comes out. But anyway, yeah, I think the footage looks good. I'm hopeful, but like what Justin said, if I walk out of this thing and I'm disappointed, I'm going to be truthful. I'm not a BSer. Yeah. So we'll see.
Okay. That's fair and good perspective there. All right.
Connor, that was great, buddy. That's why we had you on today. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, look, I'm we got people, 50s. We have 20-year-olds with Connor. We have 30 and 40-year-old. We have different. I like the range here and perspective. So, all right, Ryan Haas.
Yes,
and I do want to. I would love to hear your take on the special effects, because I know that's your area of expertise.
Yeah. So overall, I don't think that I like this trailer more than the previous one. I like Justin. I would choose that one just because I feel like it had a better, what I hope is a better representation of the overall story and tone and feel, just because of the way it related the story and the way that they have Superman's music in it and stuff like that. But so this trailer didn't really move the needle that much, but it's interesting to see what they did with it, and to have them open with a scene with Clark Kent in some fashion is pretty smart in my opinion. It shows us that he's there or could be there, but it doesn't spoil or ruin him actually coming back or being in the film. And that's what I was worried about. I mean, arguably there's less quote Superman in this trailer than the last one, which is cool. But his presence is still there. I mean, they even have a shot of the Superman monument sprinkled in this trailer from BVS, which is or from this movie, which is cool. And you know, but everything else is just, you know, more of the same. You have either the team getting together or fighting parademons, and that's really all that I've seen. Like that's probably that's probably all the movie's going to be.
That's
you know
what it's yeah. And you know, look, as much as I know about this film, which is pretty much everything, I think that all of us, including me, with that in mind, could tell you what this movie's about.
Yeah,
right exactly. now, and know how it's going to play out. That's disappointing to me. In that regard. So go ahead. I'm sorry to hijack your
No, that's okay. So you know, and there's some fun scenes at the end, like you know Barry Allen looking at the bat signal, like that played better to me than the "What's your superpower? I'm rich" line. But again, it's like that's the same kind of stuff. Like, how many of those are we going to have in the film? Is that, you know, or how many scenes are we going to have with Aquaman saying "woohoo" and being thrown at something? Like, there's two in this trailer. There's two in this trailer alone. So I just hope that it's not just a play by play of like this funny moment replayed, this funny moment replayed, this funny moment replayed. So we'll see. But and about the effects, I you know, they had a tease of this trailer a couple days ago, and I already could tell the difference in effects work. And I mean, you can tell these guys are working triple time probably to get this thing done.
I feel
you know,
bad
just knowing. Yeah, just knowing everything involved in this kind of stuff, there's a lot of work that's being done clearly. And
let me ask you this, because I want to know what you thought about it or think about it. Saying that you can tell the difference, meaning you think the quality is improved. Yes.
Yes, okay, I do. There's more context. Like if you look at some of the shots, it's not just everything's red. I mean, which of course everything is red, but there's more context. There's smoke in there's smoke in the background. The buildings look like they're being affected by this stuff. There's light sources are affecting things this time. It looks less like a few elements that are composited together and more like a complete image with more layers. And so
it's what I was getting to is it still looks fakey, and use such a ridiculous
comic booky is what I would say. It's the difference between, to me, it's like looking at a gritty, realistic Batman comic and looking at a bombastic, huge, fun Justice League comic. That's the difference to me.
And sorry to interject. It's just, I keep replaying in my mind the ending of Avengers compared to this, and I feel like one of the reasons why some people are having an issue with how this looks is, with Avengers, it was 1 billion aliens in New York, but New York looked realistic. Wherever they're at, it's just dramatic red lightning and dramatic just color palettes, and I think it's unfortunately shedding a light further on the CGI, because the environment that all this CGI is.
Absolutely.
And I'm wondering if that was a mistake. If I'm not saying do it in daylight, but the dramatic, dark, billowing clouds, I wonder. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like it's part of the story. It's part of the story, I think. Like, all the shots of Gotham look like Gotham. Metropolis looks like Metropolis. But then whatever's happening in this, red sky stuff, that looks like probably the same sequence. Like, there's a reason why things look like that. So
it's probably Steppenwolf.
Or if they sell that transition, I think it'll make sense. But I do appreciate things like at the end when they're looking at the bat signal, like you actually see Ace Chemicals in the background.
That's great.
We didn't have that in BVS. Like, they didn't. I don't feel like they pushed Gotham and Metropolis enough in BVS, and hopefully we'll see a little bit more of that in this. But That's just kind of overall what I think. It's okay, but it doesn't really move the needle for me at all.
Where's your what's your anticipation level? Where are you at with all this? You know,
I just want to see it. I'm still wait and see. I'm excited. I'm excited to see it, but you know, and with the whole Justice League versus Star Wars thing, I'm definitely not as excited to see it as Star Wars, just because Star Wars has more of a pedigree behind what's going to happen in that film compared to this, and I didn't like BVS all that much, but I'm still excited to see Justice League for sure. It's just this trailer didn't get me like, oh my god, I can't wait. So yeah.
Okay. All right, Rick. What you got, man?
All right. So my thoughts are this. I've really kind of said all I need to say on this thing at this point. Like this, I agree. Whoever said that this was a very unnecessary trailer, that was the only thing new, the only thing new it gave us was that opening sequence, which was outstanding. And I want more of that. I'm really bummed that we're not getting the feel for this film via the theme, the music that Danny Elfman has been creating for it. It's very disappointing. I was really genuinely looking forward to that. And that little teaser to the trailer yesterday, Connor brought this up earlier. There seemed to be hints that might have been some Danny Elfman music, and I thought it was going to be foreshadowing for us getting into this trailer. So instead, we get another kind of rock and roll cover, and I get it; it's thematic and everything, but still, that was very disappointing because that's what's going to move the needle for me in the sense of I really want to see how Elfman brings all this together through his music, right? So, but
hold on, Rick. You know. The score's not important to a film, man. You know that.
No, it's not that big of a deal. You know, it's just a score. But anyway, so
yeah.
But you know, that's something I'm still looking forward to is actually hearing the score.
Yes,
very much
I'm
so.
excited for that.
So I guess there's that, right? I'm you know, I'll see this at a press meeting.
I'm more excited about hearing the Danny Elfman score than the John Williams Last Jedi score, to be honest.
Absolutely, yeah. I am as well. To be honest with you, I think that The Force Awakens music was a little underwhelming. The stuff he did in the prequels was like way better. But don't get me wrong, I still loved it. I'm just saying that, yeah, I'm more excited for...
I agree with you.
I'm more excited for Star Wars The Last Jedi as a movie, like 10,000-fold, but I'm more excited to hear the score that Danny Elfman did for Justice League than I am John Williams' music.
Yeah.
But from the moment...
Where you at?
From the moment that Lois wakes up and he's not in bed with her, from that point on, the trailer does nothing for me. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Okay.
Where is your, just as I ask everyone, where is your anticipation, excitement level for Justice League? And just be honest.
I'll be honest with you. I can't wait to put this film behind BOF and fandom. Can't wait. So I'm ready for it to get here and be gone. And if I'm pleasantly surprised along the way, I will scream on top of a mountaintop. But this film is just not for me. Not because I'm 42. It's just not for me as a film. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. You know what I'm really excited about? I'm excited for our watch party in Austin. That's what I'm excited. I'm excited to get fans together, and whether you like it, hate it, you're indifferent about it, we're just going to celebrate it. It's still, look, I'm excited to see Batman on the big screen. I'm very excited to see, all joking aside about Gal, I mean, yeah, she's a knockout, but she's very good as an actress as well, right? And she's great in the role, and I'm looking forward to seeing her again. I like the cast. I like Ezra Miller. I'm looking forward to seeing the new Commissioner Gordon. So there's things as a fan that I'm excited to see. As a movie, nothing. As moments in a movie that I'll enjoy, sure, bring it on. And then let's move on and let's get to these character-driven, director-driven films that they're going to do in 2018 and beyond.
Hallelujah. Yeah, I'm with you. I have really nothing else to add. Here was my hope, and I'll be honest. I was hoping to see this today and it give me a spark of excitement, just a little bit for this film. And this did nothing. It's using heroes, I get that's U2. Was that U2 covering Bowie on that one? Sound like who is that?
No, I don't think it sounds like just some generic rock guy.
Well,
it's probably Chris Dodge.
Whoever it is. But, yeah, but you get my point. Anyway, it seems like
it's probably Van Hagar.
It's beating
I mean,
they're just kind of like, they're beating the hero thing over people's heads. And, it's almost like, okay, see, we're being heroic now. We're being, and we have these little quips. We can be funny, and we're heroes. We're heroic, and it's like we're not BVS anymore. So that's where I'm at, and I'm with Rick. And like I said earlier, I'm excited for the people who are excited about it. Now, my final question to the panel is there a buzz for this film, and does this trailer do anything for that? Whether there is or is not, is it going to? What do you think the mainstream sees this in the theater? What do they think? What do they think? What's the reaction to it? That's my take. Connor, what do you think, dude?
That's such a complicated question.
Yeah.
I think there's buzz because if I remember correctly, while Thor beat the Comic-Con trailer in July, I remember that Justice League trailer kind of blew up on Facebook. I think it racked up almost 50 million views in July. So I think there's an appetite, but the question is, will this film have enough time to do business in the 4 weeks that it comes out?
Yes.
Because it comes out and then, so here's a perspective on just how jam-packed the rest of this year is for blockbusters. So in a few weeks, Thor comes out. 2 weeks after that is Justice League. 4 weeks after Justice League is The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
These three films are going to barely have any time to do, business. I mean, Star Wars is fine. That's a juggernaut. But I think there's a buzz. It's just, is the buzz as high as BVS was? Because I'm going to be honest, it feels like WB was marketing BVS far more heavily at this point in the game with Batman v Superman.
Right.
And maybe that's because...
To that point, you can't even get tickets yet, can you?
No. Which is so surprising.
And you can get Star Wars tickets tomorrow.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, that's weird.
It's weird.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It kind of plays into the narrative of they're just wanting this not to be a total disaster, and let's get to the next phase of DC on film. But go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a complicated question. I think it'll do well. It's just, will it do enough business where WB is happy with the success? I mean, I'm sure they're ecstatic at how Wonder Woman blew up. I mean, that film really did well.
Yes.
And so maybe
it exceeded their expectations.
This is just based purely on my opinion. I have nothing quantitative to really back this up. I really get the feeling that WB is quite happy with the success of It and Wonder Woman, and they're frankly ready to take a hit on this. I really believe that.
Oh, that's I forgot about It. That's right.
Yeah, It made almost 600 million. Wonder Woman made over almost 850. I honestly believe that if this film only ends up making 800 million, they're going to be totally fine with it.
Yeah, Wonder Woman, we said Wonder Woman took the pressure off. Yeah.
It absolutely did.
Let me frame it this way, and you can finish up your thoughts. It has to do $1 billion for them to truly think it was a success. So I'm thinking, with you saying that, and I agree with you with the $800 million mark, I think that they'll take that because they would think it as
thank goodness.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll tell you this much, and I'm not trying to start anything again. If this doesn't make more than 800 million and it gets critically bombed, Ben Affleck is totally leaving. I don't think he is mentally willing to go through many more movies like this. So if this doesn't make more than 800 million, there's definitely going to be quite a few changes, and there's going to be a bunch of changes already.
Yeah,
you can already tell that they're trying to make changes with the universe. I'm not sure if this is going to open more than 150 million. I'm very curious if it does.
Interesting.
It's that combination of hype and marketing that'll do the first weekend, but to see what kind of legs it has, how it holds up. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
The only thing that's going to save this is if people connect to characters like Flash and Aquaman, Cyborg,
character stuff is what gets people to come back again and again. That's why Wonder Woman was so successful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's not the explosions, it's the people, it's the characters. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if the characters connect, that's great. And just as a point of reference, I mean, this film, after its first weekend, that whole first week it has to make money, that's Thanksgiving week. A bunch of kids are going to be off school. So if Flash and Cyborg and younger characters like that connect with people, that could potentially benefit them.
Well, speaking of kids in school, and I don't know, you can take this for what you will. Everyone knows my day job is I'm a football coach and I'm a teacher. I actually kind of, kids will show up with, I can see on their books, they'll have sometimes they'll have Batman or something or Superman or, it was Deadpool. Everybody was loving Deadpool for a while last year, and I'll ask.
You can't even see the movie.
Yeah. And recently I've been asking, you excited for Justice League? And more times than not, they're like, meh, not really, I guess. There's no, I want to see that. It looks awesome. There's none of that. So that concerns me because you're talking about, 13 and 14-year-olds. I mean, this should be in their wheelhouse, and I don't know if it is. I have no idea. I don't have any scientific research to back it up. I can just go by, what I've asked kids and what they say. So who knows? Who knows, man?
Yeah. Well, I thought I texted you guys last week. And so, I work at church. So on Sundays, you see all the kids. There's so many kids wearing Justice League t-shirts. Or not like Justice League movie, but with the Flash and stuff that's stylized, that's promoting this stuff. So I know and this is littler kids. This is elementary, so ages 2 to 9 and stuff. And so that just shows, their parents are buying it, but there is this I'm starting to see that more. But, I was at the theater last week and I saw the Ninjago movie, and there was a group of 8 teenagers, and they were all posing around the Justice League poster. And this girl seemed to be fangirling over Ezra Miller. And I don't know if it was an Ezra Miller thing or whatever. And she was like, oh, I'm going to cry if you don't take this picture now. And all this type of stuff. And I was going to take a snap for you guys, but it just seemed weird. I didn't want to take, but, that was cool. And then they played the trailer in the theater, and it got, even during it, cause I've seen the trailer twice. It was during it had the most of a reaction out of all, cause they had all these weird horror movies and then a Justice League trailer. And people were like, it wasn't but there was oh, that's cool. There was this this feeling that you can tell okay, people like that. But yeah, man, I don't know. I think it just kind of depends what your crowd is and where you're at, because, there's people that don't care, like you said. And then there's people that are just apathetic to oh, it's just another movie, where they might just go see it because they have the movie pass now, they can just go and
that's true.
I'll just go watch a movie this week, So that's
you said
movie pass. That's going to be a weird thing. If you guys have heard about that, you can just get this thing, watch a movie.
Work?
You basically can see a new movie every day with this card, and
it's one flat price a month.
Cost you cost you $10 a month. $10 a month, and what they do is they put money on your card. You buy your ticket, so the box office still makes the same amount of money. I don't understand how it works. It's like they trade information. They trade your information for money. And so you may get a whole bunch of more emails now or whatever.
It's like a movie theater subscription service, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. It used to be $30 a month. Anyways, but I don't know how that's going to play in the box office. Maybe it does now. That card is hard to get now because everyone's trying to get one. But that wasn't my point. But it kind of brings up an interesting point of box office could be changed now by things like that. People could just go see every movie now. Because you can't see it multiple times. You can only see it once, but you can go see it, 4 movies a week, and it's only cost you $10 a month. But I think it just depends on your crowd, man. Of course, the diehards are pumped, but general audiences, I don't know. I have people that ask me about it, and I have people that don't ask me about it.
I think the biggest thing this film's going to have to overcome is being more than just, oh, that's another movie coming out.
Yeah.
I had a guy say he didn't know he's all Superman's dead. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I have actually had. That's the thing. That's the weird thing. That maybe tells me though that this is gathering interest from a completely different crowd, because you will be surprised at how many people on my Facebook, just average friends of mine, who will be like, "Oh, this was kind of cool trailer, but where's Superman though?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah. Well, that shows you. There's a group of people in the mainstream that just tuned out for BVS that might even be interested in this. Which is interesting to me.
Yeah,
it's like I said earlier. This is going to be so fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, that indeed, it will be fascinating, and it's here in about just a little over a month now, huh? About
Well,
40 days.
We say this. We say this all the time. 80%, and yeah, it's kind of an arbitrary number I'm pulling out of my ass, but it's probably pretty close. 80% of the movie-going audience that goes to see these films aren't into comics, and they're not into these characters.
Oh hell, it's more than 80%.
I mean, they're not.
They just want to be entertained.
The Twitter fandom stuff, that is such a small bubble in the big. When you look at it from 30,000 feet, it's just a small percentage of people that go see these films, and they'll love it and support it, and they're excited for it, and I'm happy for them for that. I'm happy for them until they start putting pictures of Zack Snyder as God, and that gets a little weird for me. But other than that, if you're just excited, I'm happy. I'm genuinely happy for you. But
praise be his name, Lord Snyder.
There are some weird ass people doing some weird things.
And you can say something like that you think is weird, and then you'll actually release it online, which is kind of sad. So.
Well, no, we saw it this morning. I texted you guys a screenshot of one, or somebody did. Anyway, so is the general mainstream audience into this film? I don't know. I'm not a marketing.
It's so tricky.
I just don't.
It's so tricky. Right?
I will say this. I
like Wonder Woman was a success. Like Blade Runner just came out this past weekend and it bombed, unfortunately, which is terrible because the movie's great. And it's like, where is the mainstream going right now? It's really weird and tricky.
No one cares about Blade Runner. That's the
thing.
Oh yeah,
did you guys see the news? It only made $32 million this whole weekend. It's an amazing movie. I'm not shocked.
It's an amazing movie from a sequel that came out 400 years ago. I mean, that's what's weird.
And that film that came out 400 years ago was also a critical bomb. So.
Yeah, it was.
Right. So so the question is, where is the mainstream audience? Well, I'll tell you one place they definitely are. They're with Disney. And Star Wars Star Wars comes out in 4 weeks after Justice League does. So I'm afraid that once Star Wars comes out, Justice League is all but done for its run at the theater.
Absolutely, it will be.
Right.
Because they're trying to get the same audience. They're trying to get that big, huge fantasy, sea event. And
right.
I mean, it's not like Justice League is that different. It's not going to be like, oh, Justice League will still do fine because it's counter programming. No, they're trying to get the same audience. It's not going to be a whole Daddy's Home situation. Like when Force Awakens came out, Daddy's Home with Will Ferrell did amazing because they were trying to get two completely different audiences.
It's going to be
look at Daddy's Home. But think about it too. think about it too.
Daddy's Home. Yeah.
There's still time to rename the movie.
The Star Wars trailer for The Last Jedi drops tomorrow, and
everybody's going to forget about this.
Well, I don't know if people are going to forget about Justice League. And look, guys, here's the bottom line. We don't know. This thing might catch on with audiences, and hell, it might do $1 billion. I don't want to be on record saying it's not going to happen. But what I will say is that I doubt it, and I wouldn't put money on. I wouldn't put money on that happening. Yeah. But look, that's okay. Yeah. Here's what I need this film to be for me as a fan. And really just for the overall vibe of DCU going into 2018. I hope it's just watchable, fun, not as divisive as B versus S, and let's just walk out saying, it is what it is. I won't watch this movie in 5 years ever again. But here's the thing. Some fun moments. I can see fans liking it. And these characters, because the casting that Snyder did was perfect. If all that's consistent with Jason, with Ezra, etc., people are just going to be excited to see them again, like people are excited to see Gal again. And so, or Gaul, I should say. That's true. I think that is what the objective is here, is like, don't be a shit show bomb train wreck.
Yes.
Be decent. Establish these characters, and then we're moving on to a new type of filmmaking for these characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said something interesting, Rick. Sorry. People love Gal Gadot.
Yeah, they do. That's what I'm saying. They absolutely do.
Yep.
She's not going anywhere. I mean, no. Look,
I mean, she's even going to maybe be in Flashpoint now. Like, they're trying to throw her in.
Yeah, don't expect her to pop up in Matt Reeves' Batman or no. That
stuff's over.
Yeah,
with, so.
yeah. I mean, right.
Yeah.
To the extent that it was going to be, especially, but yeah, they do love her. You're right. I mean, she's a huge star. And listen, that's a great movie, and they should be very proud of that film. And I'm excited for Patty Jenkins directing the sequel. I can't wait.
All right. Let's wrap this up here. We'll wrap this up here. So, Justin, what you got to plug this week, sir?
Yeah, just follow me on Twitter at J_Rocca, and please check out the Let's Go Comic Show and Let's Go podcast.
Okay. Rick,
thank you.
You got anything?
I just know that The Last Jedi trailer is going to drop tomorrow, and Paul Herman and Zachy and myself and Justin and Ryan are going to do an analysis episode for BOF on that trailer. Hopefully Tuesday. It'll be up Wednesday, maybe Thursday. We'll see, but just keep your eye open for that.
All right. Ryan.
Cool. Follow me on Twitter at SMB_Ryan. Follow the Robin Everyone Loves Drake podcast on Twitter at ELTD Podcast. Episode 61 just came out. We started the Prodigal storyline, which is pretty cool. And also this weekend, check out my Super Mario Brothers movie archive website at smbmovie.com. We are going to have another 4K scanned trailer from the olden times has been brought into the new times. And it's really cool. It's this trailer has never been seen before in this kind of quality. We've had like a crappy VHS of it for years, and now we have a 4K film scan, which is really cool. So that's going to probably be up this weekend also, as well.
All right, Mr. Connor, what you got, brother?
This week, I'm just going to plug my Twitter. You can follow all that craziness at ConnorFilm, CONNOR.
Justice League Watch Party in Austin, in Pasadena, California. Right, Justin? All right.
Yeah, that's right.
In Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina, correct? All
yes.
right. Ryan, Peter Vera is in New Jersey, New Brunswick, New Jersey. So he said if it's an hour train ride from either Philadelphia or New York City, so that area of the country is covered. Chicago, Chris Clow, he is doing one in the northern suburbs of Chicago. And all of them are on the 18th, and even ours in Austin, Texas, at the Alamo Draft House, South Lamar. Dude, I got a lot of people coming in from all kind of places around the country. It's going to be really, really cool to meet those folks. So anyway, announcer Rachel will take us out. Bye for now.
Hey now. You've been listening to the Batman on Film podcast, a proud member and the sponsor of the Batman Podcast Network, BatmanPodcastNetwork.com. You can listen to the BOF podcast on iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, TuneIn, and wherever good podcasts like this one can be found. Want to advertise on the BOF podcast? Go to advertisecast.com/the Batman on Film Con podcast. Follow Jett on Twitter at Batman on Film and on BOF's Facebook fan page at facebook.com/Jett.BatmanOnFilm. Email Jett via Jett@batman-on-film.com. Follow Rick on Twitter at ShewRick and on Facebook at facebook.com/BOF-Shew. For Jett, Rick, Justin, and Ryan, I'm announcer Rachel. Thanks for listening.